These that we.
Such documents wouldn't be there, yeah.
What's this one for? Same thing?
Yeah. That's all. Two. I can't.
They say corrections was.
Yeah, she was good.
Just went a little bit.
You ready? I'm ready. I was waiting. We got 5:30, guys. Give it the pledge.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. You're down to
Craig Scott,
here.
Mark Serbrook,
Present.
Ron Vaughn, Brad Newbecker,
Here.
Benny David.
Here. Item 2, is there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
Yeah,
Commissioner Scott?
we're right there, the the first vote. Motion by.
Any additions or
Agenda.
corrections to the
Oh,
agenda?
like I-
You're getting ahead
Oh, I'm getting ahead. I'll get there. No, I don't.
Jeez. So can
I'll
we,
make a motion to accept the agenda.
Second.
we have a motion from Commissioner Scott with support from Commissioner Serbrook to approve the agenda. As presented, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, review of minutes. 3A, February 10th, 2022, regular meeting minutes. There's some corrections, I understand.
The first vote there, motion by Serbrook, second by Scott, the County Board of Commissioners approved I don't know what they approved. The agenda.
The agenda.
Keep going.
And then farther down, Commissioner Newbecker was omitted from voting on motion for the road commissioners to adopt and approve amended budget fund transfer. Right here. He was here
Yeah.
right in the middle. I'd like to make sure Brad's included. I want him to feel inclusive.
Anything else, Commissioner Scott?
No. You had something, didn't you?
No,
Okay.
I brought it up to you, so
Yeah,
if you're happy.
I don't know. He thought I voted no at that motion, but
Which one?
The DHHS one.
You voted no on one of them.
I did. It's down there.
That was the.
That was the only one you
That was
voted
the
no
one
on.
you contact the
Sending the letter to the legislature about the auto insurance.
The dialogue.
issue.
It was probably that kid sitting next to me screwed it up.
Screwed you. I didn't.
Any other corrections or? Are there any other corrections?
Make the motion to accept with correction.
Support.
We have a motion from Commissioner Scott with support from Commissioner Vaughn to approve the February 10th, 2022 regular meeting minutes with the corrections that were stated. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3B, February 17th, 2022 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes.
I've reviewed those minutes. I'll make a motion to accept as presented.
We have a motion from Commissioner Vaughn with support from Commissioner Serbrook to approve the February 17th, 2022 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes as presented. All in favor, say yes.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4, public comment on the agenda item matters. This is on agenda item matters only. I don't have that little dialogue. Any questions on? Oh, I do, sorry. State your name for the record. Item 2, speak only to the chairperson. Item 3, stand behind the podium when speaking. Item 4, limit comments to 3 minutes or fewer. And item 5, follow the direction of the chairperson when speaking. This is on agenda items only. Is there any public comment in the room? Any public comment on the phone? No item, no public comment on the phone. Item 5, correspondence from Sheboygan County related to the return of on-site operations. That was interesting. That has been received and filed. Pardon me?
It was.
Item 6, action on consent calendar. Are there any of these that you guys would like to combine?
I'd like to move that we approve A through E with the exception of claims. We've gone over these thoroughly enough.
I would like to do A, B, and C. D, I'd like to read. I had a question on D. Questions?
A quick question, I'll just ask Alan before we go ahead.
No, I'd like to read one. I think that one deserves a little bit more attention.
Can we include
It's,
E with A, B, and C?
sure. Resolution to authorize airport authority to join Ogemaw County Medical Insurance Plan.
And I'll move that we consent on A, B, C, and E.
Support.
Okay, so let me. Item 7A is the resolution to appoint members to the Ogemaw County Land Bank Authority. This resolution is sponsored by the county treasurer. On December 27th, 2007, the Ogemaw County Board of Commissioners approved the interlocal agreement between the Michigan Land Bank Fast Track Authority and the Ogemaw County Treasurer, creating the Ogemaw County Land Bank Authority in compliance with provisions of the Land Bank Fast Track Act. The Board of Commissioners must appoint all members of the County Land Bank Authority Board except for the county treasurer, who serves as chairperson of the authority board. 3 members whose terms expired December 31st, 2021 have confirmed their desire for reappointment. If the resolution is approved, the following persons will be appointed to the Land Bank Authority Board. Members Sue Delahoney, John Donser, and Scott Bell. Item 7B is a resolution to authorize postage meter lease. This resolution is sponsored by the county clerk. Ogemaw County departments have need for a postage meter designed to quickly process high volumes of mixed mail and packages at high speeds. The current Pitney Bowes postage meter lease has expired and the county clerk secured a quote and lease agreement for replacement. If approved, the resolution will authorize the clerk to lease a SendaPro 2000 postage meter at a total annual cost not to exceed $4,321.92 through December 31st, 2026. Item 7C, resolution to waive leave time donation policy eligibility requirements. This resolution is sponsored by the county administrator. On October 28th, 2021. The Ogemaw County Board of Commissioners approved resolution 21-143 to adopt a leave time donation policy. This policy was established to provide a uniform strategy to address organization-wide standards for leave time donations. Section E.5 of the policy states employees may only make 1 leave time donation request for each FMLA qualifying event, which will result in an extended absence from work. A second leave time donation request was recently received on behalf of an employee currently on an extended leave from work because of a FMLA qualifying event. Through approval of this proposed resolution, the Board of Commissioners would exercise its right to waive Section E.5 policy requirements. Item 7E, resolution to authorize airport authority to join Ogemaw County Medical Insurance Plan. This resolution is sponsored by the West Branch Community Airport Board. On December 14, 1965, the Ogemaw County Board of Commissioners and the City of West Branch approved an airport agreement for West Branch Community Airport under the Aeronautics Code of the State of Michigan. Section 3 of the agreement established a 7-member West Branch Community Airport Board to carry out all business operations and transactions to be conducted on behalf of the airport, which is recognized as a component unit of Ogemaw County government. The airport board desires to join Ogemaw County's medical insurance benefit plan to provide such coverage for its employees and has petitioned the Board of Commissioners for inclusion. The proposed resolution would grant that request. I want to make sure people knew what we were voting on.
Thank you.
Do you have a motion?
I made the motion and Mark
Oh, just-
seconded it.
Any discussion?
That's good.
No discussion?
No?
In that, it did state for the Ogemaw County, for the insurance plan that, and I probably read it, the airport is going to pay for that, correct?
Right.
Okay. Can we get a roll call vote?
Mark Serbrook,
Yes.
Ron Vaughn,
Yes.
Brad Newbecker,
Yes.
Jenny David,
Yes.
Craig Scott.
Yes,
Motion carries. Item 7D, this is a resolution to authorize adjustments to the fiscal year 2022 Ogemaw County budget. Whereas on September 29, 2021, the Board of Commissioners adopted Resolution 20-150 to approve general appropriations for fiscal year 2022 and has authorized certain amendments since that time. And whereas the Public Act 621 of 1978 requires that local units of government maintain a balanced budget and periodically adjust the budget to reflect revised revenue and expenditure levels. And whereas it is necessary to adjust the budget as a result of updated revenue and expenditure projections, fund transfers, reappropriations, accounting and contractual changes, errors and omissions, and additional appropriation needs. Therefore, Therefore, be it resolved that the Ogemaw County Board of Commissioners hereby directs the county administrator to make necessary transfers to adjust revenues and expenditures in the following funds according to the attached schedules. Be it further resolved that the county administrator is authorized to make necessary transfers among all budgeted funds, activities, and line items in order to comply with the state statute and to balance the 2022 Ogemaw County General Fund budget at $10,637,780.
I would make a motion that resolution be adopted as presented.
Do we have support?
I'll support.
We have a motion from Commissioner Serbrook with support from Commissioner Scott. Discussion. This says that it gives you the county administrator authorization to make changes. Are those changes, before those changes occur, are they gonna come to us just like this as far as approving this?
These changes are actually here. So the
Yep.
changes that you see in front of you are the changes that we would make to the BSNA system where the budget is housed. So when you get your budget reports, you'll see in the future, you'll have the adopted budget. Then you'll have another column that says amended budget where you'll see these changes. And I think there's a third column in there. Oh, that's year to date that will be in there. So you'll see this now. So the next time there's a run of the budget report that you see every other week,
Mhm.
you'll see a column now that will have the adjusted budget numbers in it. So that's what you'll see. So you're looking at it now on the attachments to that resolution, what those changes will look like.
But the changes, so we'll see the proposed changes, but they won't be finalized until we vote on them, correct?
You're voting on it with this resolution. You're voting on these changes.
Up to this point, but
Up
I'm
to
saying
this point.
moving
That's
forward.
And moving forward, you'll have another one of these quarterly adjustments. This
Yep.
one, remember, we've delayed a couple of weeks, for other circumstance, but you'll see another one of these probably in April.
Okay,
And then in July, you'll see the third quarter.
Is there any, so we'll vote on those each time that happens.
well, that was my question because according,
No,
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm just saying, I understand.
Alright. Is there any way that on this report, at some point, we can get our current status as of last year? And then something quarterly, like each line item for the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, and the fourth quarter. So that hopefully we have some analytical data to back up where we're at each quarter. And hopefully we can gain some knowledge as to where we expect to be going into, say, the third or fourth quarter.
And I think we can do that because we're a little over a year into BSNA now. So we should have good quality data.
Right, I don't know
On the line
that, I
item.
don't know that the software itself can set quarterlies, but we can request a special report be created by BSNA for us that sets that benchmark.
Let's work on that. I think we can do it.
I guess just reading that, that was my question. I understand we were gonna do this quarterly, but making sure that these changes had to come through us. How I read that was that I didn't read that it had to, I guess. I'm not. How the county administrator is authorized to make necessary transfers among all budget funds, activities, and line items in order to comply with the state statute and to balance the 2022 Ogemaw County General Fund budget. I
Once
don't
we
know.
approve it.
Pardon me?
Once we approve it.
That's what I wanted to make sure. Okay. Any other questions, comments?
The next one should be the first town meeting in April.
I think so. I don't know when that falls. And my only hesitation is if it falls like on April 2nd, there might not have been enough time to pull it all together
Okay.
because the quarter ends on March 31.
Right.
But somewhere around there. So if
Okay.
it's not that cow meeting, it'll be the one after.
Okay. Call for the vote.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Ron Vaughn,
Yes.
Brad Newbecker,
Yes.
Jenny David,
Yes.
Craig Scott, Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Resolution carries. Item 7F, claims. I got down $90,258.66.
The first one.
Excuse me, guys, did
He said the first town meeting will be the 14th.
Seventh, I'm sorry.
Seventh?
Seventh.
7th. Oh, All right, 7th, I guess.
Who reviewed claims?
We did.
Yes.
You guys have,
Pretty,
would you like to discuss?
childcare, same, 3 facilities, 26,000 there. The jail was 23,000. Part of that was medical contract, as well as food, and
Food
there was
was-
something else. I
There
can't,
was a big food bill on there.
Yeah, like
Holy smokes.
6,000.
yeah.
Price of food's gone up.
Um,
Are you getting it from Ukraine?
Might have to.
Emergency management, and I believe that's a grant.
Yeah,
And transit repairs, there's a couple of them in there. For $10,000.
Yeah, there was a fuel bill in there too that was fairly high for
Yeah.
transit.
That's pretty much it. It was pretty,
It's really kind of low.
Yeah, really.
100,000.
Bottom line.
Motion to accept as presented.
I support.
I had the question. That was the partners, there's 2 of them. There's 2 separate ones. There's a partners and change. It was $6,688. That was.
Yeah.
And then the other one I thought was bridges. That was like a $7,000,
There's actually 3 of them.
$3,855.
Childcare.
All childcare.
Bunch of uniforms on there. What's the NYE uniforms too? There was a whole bunch.
Not uniforms.
What's that?
Number, that's the name of the company.
Name of the correction. Or name of the uniforms for, that's for corrections. I don't know. Is that where you get yours?
They're each on there separately, like the,
Yeah, a lot of paperwork.
They're individual, each person.
is that for workers uniforms?
You have to cut a check. for each one of those
No, they
lines.
combine the check, but each person has a
Holy
separate
smokes.
Oh, okay.
bill.
All right. You guys adjust the other one, right? Any other discussion? I have one more question.
There's also one in there for travelers for $1,600 too.
Yeah, I seen that one too. Village Quick Loop. Oh, that's the one you guys were talking about. I write this down when I'm looking at them. What's this, the Sterling McLaren Veterans? What is that? Oh, it's a veterans burial. There's a couple of them in here too. I don't know. Have we seen that before?
Oh, yeah. Don't like.
Maybe I just haven't seen that many.
There's not that many. Thank
There's
you.
4 in here.
It's winter time.
Okay.
More people die in the winter.
This week, more people have died.
Roll call vote.
Brad Newbecker,
Yes.
Jenny David,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Ron Vaughn.
Yes.
Item 8, unfinished business. Tim, is there any? Item 9, administrators report.
A few things. Bear with me on the first one because I think you've already seen this in the email, but concerning the rebonding, despite the fact we were closed on Tuesday, the rebond sale happened. We knew we were in a race against time when it came to both the inflation issue and the world stage and what that was doing to interest rates. So the final bid that we received was not as good as we had hoped, but it's probably better than it would have been today because things have literally changed that much. We did receive 6 bids on the jail bond, ranged from percentage rates at 2.37% to 2.54%. The low bid was from BOK Financial Securities. And their rate was, and they calculate these down to 6 digits past the decimal point. So their rate was actually 2.372629%. Wow. Okay. Ultimately, this is going to end up saving the county just over $180,000 over the remaining life of the bond. So over the next 15 years, we were hoping it would be about double that, but we'll take it given the circumstance that we're in right now. That's roughly about 11,250 per year. That's an average number. It does fluctuate a little bit up and down each of the years. But like I said, less than we'd hoped for, but certainly still savings, and we'll take it. And there is potentially opportunity for a board in about 10 years to do it again, to do rebonding. So if interest rates were favorable, then that board can consider doing the same thing. Otherwise, there'd be only like 5 years left in the bond after that. So it'll be good news no matter what. Now, new today, you might have seen some emails from MAC concerning House Bill 5054, and this was a very pleasant surprise this morning. Voted out of a House committee. House Bill 5054 would supplement the state's fiscal year 2021 budget, so their last fiscal year, and provide in our category $250 million in grant money to local units who have pensions that are funded above 60%. Now, there's another group that's the group that's funded below 60%, and those counties really do need the supplement. There's a little bit more money appropriated for that. But in our category, there of that 250 million, there would be a maximum grant award that any maximum for any community applying for it would be 5% of the total, or $12.5 million. Now, I don't want to get your hopes up. We are not going to receive $12.5 million. There are enough communities out there within that 60% category that we're in that there isn't anybody probably who's going to receive that maximum amount. But what they're targeting here are the unfunded liabilities on pensions. You might remember from the ARPA rules that one of the things we could not do with ARPA money was put it into pension and funding that unfunded portion. So this is the state's way of saying, well, we still recognize this as being a challenge for local communities. So they're reporting this bill out. And remember, it's still just a bill. It has not yet gone to the governor for signature, but very positive that this was actually reported out. Now, there are some requirements that would be attached to this, and I don't think any of them are onerous. The first requirement is we'd have to pre-fund any retiree health care. Well, retiree health care pretty well ended for new employees about 10 years ago. So the number of employees that we have receiving or eligible for the retiree health care is diminishing all the time. So it's not going to end up being a huge number for us. We would be required to make all of our actuarially determined contributions. That's literally the bill we get every year from MERS. And so that's always been part of our budget. We will be required to maintain the discount rates and assumed rates of return. Those are determined by MERS as well, and that goes into the calculation for the amount that we have to contribute each year. And then finally, we have to adopt the most recent mortality tables. Again, MERS takes care of that for us. They actually factor that into what our dollar, each dollar that we are required to contribute. The grants will be applied in terms of this bill. They want to apply these grants so that the systems will end up being 100% funded. I'm pretty confident we won't reach that goal for everybody who potentially applies. It's possible. I'm sure somebody's done the math. It's possible that it does. But just knowing where our level is right now and knowing that there are a number of other communities out there in this category, I doubt that everybody would get to 100%. If we do get there, that's fantastic. My rule of thumb, though, is this: there is no way that we are going to see everybody who's eligible to retire, that they will all retire at the same time and all want the cash out like now. That's just not going to happen. That's not how it works. People work for 30, 40 years, and then they retire, and not everybody retires at once. So this unfunded liability will not come due all at once. My rule of thumb has consistently been, if we can get ourselves to 80%, we're sitting in a pretty good place. We're currently, when the audit is presented to you next month, currently you'll see that we're at 73.3% funded, which isn't bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. And you consider there are a number of communities that are even under that 60% mark. Just to get us to 80% funded would require about a $2.2 million grant to do that. I think that's within the realm of possibilities here. We may even be able to do a little bit better if everything that I've seen in this bill today comes to pass. So no matter what the dollar amount is, if we get a grant to help offset this, it's good news. If we can get ourselves to 80%, that's even better news. If they can fund us to 100%, that's fantastic news. Now, I'd hoped, and just because there wasn't time today to actually crunch all the numbers, I wanted to let you know what that number looks like for us in a fiscal year. And I have the numbers from 2021, just didn't have time to put it all together to give you an amount. So I'll try to do that here in the next few days and get that number out to you. But it will be a significant impact on the general fund in a very positive way in terms of savings. So hopefully that will get to the Senate, will get approved there, and then it hasn't even passed the House yet, but passed there too, and then the governor will sign it, and this would be a very nice shot in the arm. There are consequences for not following the rules here, and one of those consequences, as the state typically does, is if we don't do our due diligence in making sure, for instance, that we pre-fund our retiree health care, the state does have then the obligate or have the authority to withhold revenue sharing dollars and whatever that amount is to make up for it. I think it's a very low risk because we have consistently budgeted for our contribution each year. And on the retiree healthcare, again, that's not a huge dollar amount that we're looking at each year. So it's, I think, going to be a very positive outcome for the county if it were to pass. And lastly, just a report on lessons learned here in the last couple of days, having closed with the ice storm. The first thing that became very apparent is that the foolproof text to email system that I've been using failed. I am still getting kickback messages through email saying that those messages were undelivered. Equalization, 2 employees there got the Tuesday announcement this afternoon. So that just simply isn't going to work anymore. But we scrambled a little bit yesterday, tried it a different way. It did work. And that's just simple. Use my cell phone and text it out that way. And through group texting, it got out. That's what we're going to do, at least in the short term. Tom is working with Central Dispatch. There is a system there that was purchased that we may be able to utilize that'll make it even easier. It will be just me dialing into that system, tell it the message to send out, and it will send it, and that will save me 10 minutes, whatever it takes. But it's, again, just another backup to make sure our employees are informed for any urgent message that we may need to get out. And at the same time, and I have to acknowledge Tom at IT, for me anyway, but being able to get access to this network remotely, I was able to work just like it was a normal day without the commute. So that was even better. So really didn't miss a beat there, but really got to commend Tracy at the clerk's office. She had come back from vacation on over the weekend, I think.
Saturday or Sunday.
Friday, and we were here Sunday, Monday.
Yeah, so Monday, we got word that there was an ice storm coming, which was great that we had the heads up. But my biggest fear in this whole scenario was that we were going to lose power and possibly lose it for multiple days, depending on how much ice transpired. We had payroll to do this week, so commend Tracy for putting in the extra time on Monday to make sure that got done, to make sure the employees were paid. And that just, it's way above and beyond. I was greatly relieved when she was able to do it, because we lost power, and if we were still without power and this is payday, that would not have been a good scenario. So again, just tremendous dedication to get that done. And, the clerk's office, you guys continued your interviews all the way through that. So, just a lot of activity. We were able to overcome the elements and just make sure everything was still operational. So, accommodations to all. That's
Is
it.
that it?
Yeah.
Tim, did you want to speak in regards to the ME meeting with law enforcement?
Sure. We did have a meeting. I don't even remember what day it was. 15th, whatever day that was last week. With all of our law enforcement community. So the prosecutor was present, the state police were represented, sheriff's office was present, Rose City Police and West Branch Police all present. And we were able to work through the concerns that each of our organizations have with the medical examiner. And yet there are some significant concerns in there that we were able to identify. I will be having a phone call with the medical examiner group. We're scheduled to do it tomorrow to go over what those concerns are and to lay out what the expectations are based on the contract that we have. on the upside of all this, it does appear that a lot of the issues that we identified occurred prior to the change to our current administration over at the medical examiners group. You recall at the meeting, we had a couple of meetings ago with the medical examiner here telling us here in this public meeting that he personally does oversee all of the autopsies and signs off on every one of them. That's a change from what was being done before November, I think it was, when the change occurred. So while we are concerned and we do want them to know on the record that we're concerned about these issues, I think they probably have already corrected it. What we will do is follow this up with something in writing to them, laying out our expectations and laying out where those expectations are founded in the contract itself. And then if there are any breaches of this that will be considered, as the words are in the contract itself, a material breach that could result in our exiting the contract. We'll take it from there. We'll see how things go. But I'm actually looking forward to the conversation that we have with, or that I have with Brian Hart down at the Institute, and go from there. We do have, as a number of people pointed out, the option in the contract to exit with 90 days notice, with or without cause. But I'm not confident after even having had that meeting that we're at a point that we really want to do that. So, well, I'll keep you posted on how that conversation goes. And of course, you'll see any correspondence I send out. We'll actually run that by legal as well before it goes, just to, again, put everybody on notice as to what the expectations are.
Is it just you in them meeting tomorrow? Is there anybody else going to be?
Right. We originally wanted to have the entire group meet with the forensic team, but there were some other things that occurred since our meetings happened that the state police in particular are not at all interested in sitting down and doing that, which they explained at the meeting. I totally understand it. And so we just, as we went through, I did take copious notes as to what was being said. And the group said, you articulate that on behalf of the county, we're satisfied. So of course, we'll keep them up to date too, keep one of our participants up to date on what the result is of that call, and likely copy them on the letter too, so you all have it.
Good.
Thank you.
Anything else?
And unless somebody, something else. Yeah, it's hard sometimes to all these days come together and realize that was the 15th. It seems like it was a month ago.
I know.
Item 10, elected officials and department head reports. Clerk?
I will go. Brackfield and the Ogemaw County Clerk. As Tim said earlier, Tracy and I didn't stop this week. We conducted 7 or 8 interviews, I believe, by Zoom. Really hopeful, really excited for both positions. More to come on that next weekend or next week when I will communicate with you guys. Spent the afternoon doing election training in Bay City. So I'm kind of excited about that. I think that's it.
That's it?
Mhm.
Clerk?
Good.
Excuse me, treasurer. I'm looking at you. Come on, do you have anything?
I don't have anything for you tonight.
Sheriff, come on up.
Hi, everyone. Brian Gilbert, Ogemaw County Sheriff. A few things here. Talking about the ice storm, my deputies did an awesome job out there. I was even out there too, patrolling, shagging crashes in the ditches. We were pretty busy. We got that sleet that came in about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That really helped us tremendously. We could get some
Traction.
traction. It was bad, but we did awesome. We got the job done along with our, MSP and our local PDs. So we did real well together. I put a list together, January stats.
Is it on our iPad? I think I got it in the email, but it's not on here, is it?
Don't think I
No,
put it on.
okay.
Came to us on the email.
Yeah, I got it on the email. Okay.
I got a question. Oh, year to date, Is that calendar year, fiscal year?
Year to date would be starting January. So that's, we're
So-
a month into it by.
This is January's report.
Yes, January.
So in January, you drove 13,000 miles, and year to date, just January, 44,000 miles. This is 1 month.
Right,
If it started in January,
right, yeah, yeah.
it ended in January.
Yeah, I'll have to check into that.
Okay,
I'll check into that and I'll get back with you.
okay, because
But yeah.
Because December's report, which I have right here, shows for the whole year of 2021, 110,000 miles.
Okay.
I'm just
Yeah,
wondering,
that's an easy enough question I can resolve.
and part of December's report, the bottom part, the hours patrolled
I don't have that one with me.
began in March.
Okay.
I don't know, if the top meant the whole year or beginning in March or what. Anyway, okay, all right,
Yeah, no, I'm not sure. I can answer that question. I'll get back to you.
okay.
Okay. Moving on here, next item I have is one more Prescott. They reached out to me by an email. Joe Pereira, superintendent out there, brought the SRO to his board. And they approved that they would like to have a school police officer out there. So this is the next step. What we need to do is get the contract. Have you folks look at the contract, and what I did, I copied the contract from Ogemaw Heights. So they're good with that, assuming that
That
you all are
include
good with
pricing?
that.
That include pricing?
Yep, that's 57.1 for the year. And what I understand is Sirline is gonna be reaching out for another.
Understand that when we wrote that, we had not done any union negotiations as of yet. And since then, we have added costs of healthcare.
Yeah, exactly.
So our costs
So
have
we
gone
got-
up.
What,
Since the
yeah,
last
what do
contract
we got,
agreed.
4 months for this year to be over with, and maybe we can renegotiate for next year.
Is that all this agreement is for the remainder of this year?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
That's whatever you folks want to do on the agreement. I mean, I haven't brought that to you yet,
okay.
but I'm just one step at a time. We got that approved over there. So the next step is the contract, and my undersheriff and I, we got to find somebody to fill that. So that might be the toughest part, but we're going to move forward and try to get that done, because I really feel strongly that we've got to get a police officer in that school up there, that school system.
Okay.
I agree with that. What does this mean? Please let me know about hiring and I will get 3 representatives from the district. What does that mean? For Mr. Pereira.
I'm not sure. It's probably, they've got 3 different districts there, and he probably wants a representative on each district. You've got Mills, probably Richland, and then probably over there in Whittemore. So I'm sure that's what he means by that.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the grant that the school applies for, they have to have 3 people from the school district on the hiring board for the individual that's chosen to be able to give their blessing. If I'm not, I could be very well mistaken.
Because that doesn't make
But I,
sense.
but I believe that the grant that they would receive from the state of Michigan to fund that position, that's a requirement of grant, I believe.
So that's what that means?
I can find out.
I thought so, but
Yeah, well, I brought it to Mr. Pereira's attention that Ogemaw Heights gets their money out of the at-risk account,
Mhm.
and he was gonna check into that, so I'm assuming that's probably where he's getting that money from, but that's a question that needs to be answered, can be answered.
The other thing is your constitutional authority. My understanding is that you are the only person authorized to hire a deputy under you. So we'll want to get that cleared up.
Yeah.
That's not to say you wouldn't have a committee to advise you. I mean, I don't know that that's a problem, but ultimately it will be your responsibility to make the hire
Mhm.
regardless of what the committee would. do.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you'd listen to them and everything, but Yeah, so we want to make sure that we get that clear on that too.
Absolutely, yeah.
But we'll have to make the allocation for a position. True. Yes.
Yes, you will have to amend the authorized position list that we do with the budget. So, and we've done a couple of those now this year, so it becomes more routine.
How, Sheriff, how would you fund this out of your budget?
I would have to sit down with my undersheriff who does my budget, come up with a plan.
What part of that you mean?
We have 3 months
Well,
of the year, so now we're gonna be looking at it. And
so-
let me finish, Commissioner Scott. And agree, I think that this is a great idea. I'm 100% in favor of this. I just need to know what your plan is for funding this, because the county has to flip 3 months. If this is gonna be a full-time officer year round, the county has to flip 3 months of this, correct? Along with the help,
study plan one.
that, I guess that could be a plan.
That's the next step. That's another step. We just want to get this approved that they're okay with it, and then we'll work out the details.
So where we are with this stuff, because the last we knew is it was just conversation. It was obviously was taken to the board. It's approved. Yeah, it seems like it's a little bit more advanced than that, but.
It's not advanced.
So what happens if you can't fund
I
this?
reached out to Joe
Mhm.
and asked him if he would like me to work on maybe getting a resource officer. He said, absolutely. I have to get with my board. He brought that to me,
Mhm.
and he brought it to the board, and now he brought it to me. So this is only step 3.
There's been quite a bit of communication over there with his faculty and parents about a resource
could be, yeah.
officer.
Could be, yeah.
And
absolutely.
he'd been in communication with you about this, so I
Yeah.
know this has been ongoing, and again, I'm 100% in favor of this. We just gotta figure out how, because there's numerous schools in the county, how we're gonna fund this. And what the best option is, because the county does flip the bill for 3 months of this.
Could we possibly set up these resource officers as summer ORV officers or?
We could, there's ways of doing it. We have to, myself, and my undersheriff, we got to put our heads together, and then we'll present that to you. So,
Are you confident that your budget's you're gonna have the ability to pay for this?
I would certainly hope so.
Right? Okay, questions?
I'll wait for more information.
Well, this is something, I mean, I work over there, I hear a lot over there, that they're very, very much, they very much want, they very much need, they're very much looking forward to. It's just gonna be really difficult for us to sit here and make that decision when of course, this is something that is needed, that is wanted, that's been being discussed. And now us sitting here having to make that very difficult decision puts us kind of in the hot spot.
Well, I think we just need to discuss is the position, because I know where I'm at. I'd like whoever's gonna be the buyer, pay for the whole 12 months of the officer, but I don't think that I'm gonna get that through. But I wanna make sure that that they're paying for the time they are using that officer 100%.
Mhm.
And if it's prorated for the year, then fine, but then I'd like to hear a plan about, because I assume that you want somebody 12 months a year. That's what you did on the first one. We gotta decide if we start that's a half a body, a half a person for the summer months.
Mhm.
Are we allocating another half a person, half a position? And then if we take on another school and we go with another person, pretty soon we're gonna have a whole allocation for the summer months of one more person, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's got a lot of different complications to it. So, and Brad's got a good question about the other duties, because that would be another stream of income that would pay for it.
Mhm. Anything else, commissioners?
No, not right now.
Sure.
Keep going.
Craig, I got an answer to your question.
There'll be another
Oh,
question.
that part, that
Fiscal
question,
year,
huh?
fiscal fiscal year.
Okay, so
The
the
total-
January is
total
the
year's
fiscal. Okay,
Okay,
all right. That makes sense.
thank you, Under Sheriff.
I'm disappointed in the 4 months that my township only had 5 hours.
Mine's still at 0. Oh, wait.
Well, we do pass through. I'm
One
telling you,
now.
we pass through.
Logan, your township, yes, in 2 months you have not had
I
any.
am really good with that, Commissioner Scott.
Yeah, and only 1 hour for 4 months. It must be because you're keeping everybody in line out there. They don't have to patrol it.
Anything else? Sheriff, I'm sorry.
I've got a little bit more.
Please keep
Unless you
going.
want me to quit?
No, please don't.
You're doing fine.
We're gonna start a new program here, early stages of it. You've got a copy of our security check report. We're gonna basically open this up to the public that is gonna be on vacation, leave their home residence for a little while. We're gonna ask them to come and fill this out, and we will periodically do a random security check on their home. I used to do that when I was assigned to Mills Township. I done that. And it was pretty successful. So we're gonna open that up for the county.
And this could be business too,
Yeah. anything.
say a seasonal business like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's gonna do this
My dad
program?
used to do it all the time.
Yeah.
Back in that former life.
In my former life, we used to do it all, we had a book that had a minute and a night shift in the wintertime, and believe me, there were lots of, because people pack her up after deer season or before that.
Yeah,
and
I
not come
didn't
back
mind
until-
doing it at all. I enjoyed doing it.
Oh, yeah, it was fun.
So I guess I don't understand. It's not my former life or my current life. So I don't,
Jenny, let's say let's say you're seasonal, or you're gonna go on vacation for a month. You're gonna be.
I wish.
2 weeks.
Yeah. You fill it out.
So I come in,
Yep, you fill the
fill this
form
out. Okay,
It goes, I don't know how they're gonna do it, but again, back in my former life, it was in a book.
okay.
Patrol guys took it out with them. If they were in the area where that was at, they checked them. And on nights in the wintertime, we did a lot of them, believe me.
So do they document on here that they've checked it all as well?
And they also put that on their log too.
So there's, okay, so there's no charge for this. There's no,
You sent that to us, didn't you?
Mhm.
yeah, I'm looking at it, but
Can it be done online?
It's part of our community policing. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it's about. We
Can
want
it be done online?
We want to help the people that help us. So that's,
Can they go online and do this?
we haven't explored that.
Yes.
That's a good idea.
There.
Okay.
Got your answer.
Now,
I got my team behind me. Can't you tell?
okay, that's the team, not the gallery, okay?
that still sticks with me. That was not nice.
Like I said, this is the early stages of it. So
Okay.
we'll
I just wanna-
put up a program here.
Point.
Anyways, hang on, one more question about it. I'm sorry. Is there this isn't one specific person that's responsible for this. This is all of your good department,
Yeah.
correct? Okay,
Yeah, we're all going to take part of this, including myself.
great. Okay, thank you. I didn't understand it.
Okay, moving on.
Yep.
Good.
I didn't mean to step on your toes, Sheriff, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. No. Good. Okay.
Next time, sit behind them.
I can be part of the team.
I'm going to throw out one of my team players behind me, Deputy Vetter.
Throw them.
He's been exploring grants for us, and he reached out to the government access surplus program. Mark, your former life, I know you know all about this program. But anyway, he reached out and he located a 2001 19-foot Pathfinder boat. The controls is in the middle of the boat, which means our Marine Patrol can work completely around the boat. So they reached out to them and we took possession of this boat. I'll give you some details on it for $363.35. That was the total cost of 2001 19-foot Pathfinder boat. It has a 2014 Mercury 150 motor on it, valued at $23,000. It's got less than 30,000 or 30 hours on it, so it's relatively brand new. The trailer is new. Apparently the trailer that came with the boat, 2001, they bent the axle on it, so the government bought a brand new trailer. It was a 2013. What we'll have into it is $363.35, and the cost of the lettering will be $595 to letter it. And that cost is gonna come out of our marine grant that we wrote. It's equipped with a sonar depth finder, which means if we get called to a drowning, we'll be able to see what's underneath this boat. Okay, I won't get into details, but that is valued at $3,500 just for the sonar alone. So bang for your buck, we got all that for $363.35. So that's a no-brainer. So we approved that. Deputy Vetter and his wife went down and picked it up free of charge. We do have possession of it. It is being stored at Lake Ogemaw Marina free of charge. So as soon as the weather breaks, we're going to pull the lights off probably our older boat, put on there to get it ready for our Marine Patrol division. So it's a nice boat. Do you have a picture of it? I thought I sent a picture of it.
They're not great.
It's not a very good picture, but it is a pretty awesome boat. The beam on it is big, 3.5 or 8.5 feet. So it's not going to be tipsy. It's going to be a very good work boat for us. Any questions?
This makes, you plan on liquidating the other boat?
Yeah, that's what we're thinking is.
Now, we still have another boat too, don't we?
We have the one that we use on Lake Ogemaw, then we have another one, but we had some fuel tank problems with that. So
How many boats do we have right now?
right now we have 3.
Including this one.
Including this one.
Yeah, okay.
So we're thinking about liquidating the
The
other one.
leaky one.
Yeah, we never used that last year, did we? Twice? Okay, we used it twice. But
Do we have any officers to utilize this boat? I mean, this is great. We do. You have, okay.
yes, yeah. We're
They
good.
don't
And
have to
Lake
be.
Ogemaw really supports us really well. So does Sage Lake. The 2 biggest lakes we have in the county. They do a great job for us. I mean, they really stand behind us.
So you have found the officers to cover this?
Yes.
Marine officers don't need to be MCL certified.
Oh, okay.
They can force marine law without being MCL certified, so it's a lot easier than.
Yeah, just gotta go through the class.
Oh.
Okay, any
All I say
questions?
is
I'll move on.
let the insurance company know that we have it.
Yeah.
And let them know that we're not gonna insure the other one pretty soon.
Yeah, that's already been taken care of.
Good.
Moving on. Any questions? Myself and the undersheriff, we met with our correctional staff. The A and B shift, we broke it up. So everybody we met with, and that is the first time in my history being there that the undersheriff and the sheriff actually met with the correctional staff. And we did that to keep communications open. We indicated that our doors are always open. And what I understand over there, they're ecstatic that they got the attention that they needed and they deserve. So we plan on doing that all the time. So,
Good, because
That's
it's your
part-
department.
That's our unit.
That's right.
That is our unit. That's our umbrella. And they're no different than my road depths
That's right.
in my book. So we need to all work together to make it flow, to make it go.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to throw that out there. As far as I know, yesterday I called on over there and there's 2 inmates in quarantine yet. They're gonna test them either today or tomorrow, I'm not sure. So we're just taking every precautionary that we possibly can there. So we're in full staff, we're in full working capacity over there, but we still have 2 that we want to keep an eye on. Okay, and then people over there are doing a wonderful job in containing it and jumping on it. So hats off. And that was told at that meeting over there that we appreciate what they did. Real professional and they do a very nice job for us.
I think that was in bills too, the $1,300 for the Roscommon. That's not a bad that wasn't a bad cost
Yeah.
for housing them during that. I assume that that was what that was for during that.
It's a
Outbreak.
trade-off we do with them. I mean, they work really well with us and we work really well with them. So it's a trade-off.
Could have been worse.
Oh, yeah, it could have been a whole lot worse. So hats off to our correctional staff. They did a great job for us. And the last thing I have is, yesterday I had the very first meeting with all of our agencies. And it was concerning ORV update. And when I say agencies, it was myself, MSP, I had DNR there, I had Rose City PD, and I had West Branch PD there. Just everybody's input on this because it's a team effort. I need some input from all of our other agencies. So we all met, we had a nice discussion on it, and we all came to a conclusion what we should change in it. And come Monday, I plan on getting my secretary to update what we came up with, and hopefully I can present that Wednesday. Don't hold me to Wednesday, but I'm shooting for Wednesday's Cal meeting to bring it to you folks.
So we're gonna have that on Thursday, aren't we?
Thursday. It's Thursdays.
I'm sorry, Thursday.
Can you shoot us an email with that beforehand if you get it done so we can review it
Yeah,
before the meeting?
Yeah, if you're gonna change the day, you gotta let us know ahead of time.
I tried.
He just did.
But anyway, it all depends on how much my secretary has Monday going on. But I'm gonna see if she'll jump in that and get some changes done. There ain't a whole lot of changes. But I did go, I'm gonna give you a little hint. We did go with 11 o'clock PM. I like that idea.
11 o'clock.
That was your idea. 11 o'clock,
The sunset.
The time,
the time.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
there's gonna be a set time
I
that,
was just sitting here thinking about the date.
I mean, that's what we want.
Oh, that's-
That's what we're asking for. We'll
Yeah.
present it. And obviously, you folks have to vote on it, but I think it'll be fine. Because what I did, I reached out to Roscommon. I got theirs and put theirs with ours, and there's some good things they had in there, and I'm gonna add that to ours.
Yeah.
And I will
Yeah, we
present
gotta
that hopefully on Thursday.
You
Well,
can practice on Wednesday.
Mark and I
Is
are
that-
the ones that can't figure out what day of the week it is. I figured
Yeah.
you did.
is that it? Thank you.
Well, every day's a Saturday for you.
Is
ain't it?
there,
Yeah,
is there any other elected officials? I don't think I missed
I
any.
didn't take all that time.
no, that's great.
Any-
Thank you.
Any elected officials on the phone? So, Mary, did you want to take this brief moment to introduce yourself? I had asked you.
At the podium.
You got, no, just a few brief seconds, please.
Can I do it from here?
You have to come up here so people can hear you. Come on
People on
up.
the phone can't hear you.
Turn red.
Commissioner, what would you like me to say?
Your name, where you're from, just a
Rank and
brief
serial
little bit of,
number.
Commissioner Scott,
I'm sorry.
just a little bit about yourself, brief.
A little bit. Okay, my name is Mary Childress. I was hired at the end of January to be Mr. Dolhanty's secretary and to support the Board of Commissioners here. Very excited to be here. I moved to Michigan almost 4 years ago. Been coming here for almost 2 decades to West Branch of all places from Philadelphia. Due to my background in the military and my Army family being here. So this is like my pre-retirement retirement. I've slowed my life down and I'm very happy living in, well, I'm not in Ogemaw County, I'm in Aranac, but I'm close enough and I'm very happy to be in Michigan.
Thank you. So how's it going so far?
It is wonderful, even with the ice.
How's your job?
I love my job.
Yes, going well? Okay,
Yes,
good. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Item 11, manners from the floor. Any commissioners? Item 12, motions for adoption. I don't believe we have any. Committee reports. Commissioner Vaughn.
I have none.
That was short and sweet.
That's easy.
Commissioner Newbecker.
Spoke to West Branch Township and they did have some comments on the ORV ordinance. One of the things they think would be beneficial is developing some type of a map with the input from the townships as to all authorized ORV roads that can be used, and then we could distribute that once we approve it. I think it would kind of clarify as to which roads the townships want to have included in that. So
Say that again.
coming up with a ORV approved map.
We have one for currently.
Yeah,
If you're saying if you change it,
if the townships want to update it or change it. So,
Did they have some roads they didn't want overlays on?
well, I think some townships have, part of their township, they really probably wouldn't want ORVs on, and then there's other roads that they probably wouldn't mind them being on.
Because no township I've talked to yet has omitted any roads. I asked them that, but nobody has omitted anything other than them roads. That's the only thing.
And when I talked to the West Branch Township, they were fine with things the way they were. So I don't know who you talked to, Brad, but at the township meeting, I've talked to them twice and they said, we're good with whatever you guys decide. So I don't know.
Well, I just spoke with Jeremy tonight and
Okay.
that's what our discussion was about. And then also Churchill had some concerns and questions on the planning for the dollar store. And I don't know how that meeting went. Did you?
Okay.
We'll get to Commissioner Scott.
Yeah, she's saving the best for last.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got to get back with her because I returned her call, but I haven't talked to her yet. But that's all I had.
Commissioner Serbrook.
I attended the meeting with law enforcement and Tim in regards to the DME thing. I thought it was, God, we met for probably an hour and a half, I want to say. Very productive. Basically, things got laid out on the table the way, and I did some, they suggested that I talked with the funeral homes. I did stop at Sternall's. I didn't get a chance to talk to one in Prescott, Paresh, is it, or, but I did talk to them. They didn't have any major concerns other than some of the things that the law enforcement group had expressed. So I think it was very productive. So everybody got things out on the table and.
So that was a law enforcement committee. Brad, did you attend that?
No, it was, the prosecutor called and asked me to attend. So,
Wasn't invited.
Anything else?
no, I mean, yes, I'm sorry, not on that issue. I attended Clacking Township meeting, the fire truck that is coming, Clacking, was it Clacking coming, Rose, and the city of Rose City? And I know Ron updated you on that. They've got a new completion date now on that. It's supposed to be flying around here, April the 6th, and that's down in Florida, and they're gonna bring it back, and they're super excited about this brand new truck. So EMS, I met with EMS committee, authority board. They got their audit report. They had a very good audit report. Everything was good. And they do a summary for us every month. And just last year, being calendar year, their average runs per month were 333. In January, they had 438 this year. So they're over 100 more just in January this year than what their average was for all of last year. By comparison, January 21, it was 292 runs. So they're 150 plus runs more this year in January than they were a year ago. So they're busy people. So, and I attended West Branch City Council meeting on Monday. And Mr. Sean Gilbert, who was opening up a new store out in the outlet mall called Made in the USA. They're going to be opening, I believe he said they're shooting for an opening in late March, early April. They're going to have their grand opening on the 4th of July. He presented brand new, made in the United States American flag for the county building. The sheriff got one, the city got one, West Branch Township got one. They got 50 more 3x5s for the city to display during the summer from him. And I don't know if there was a state police were getting one. Fire department. Yeah, the fire department. So if Tim, if I can leave this with you and you see that Chris gets it,
Oh,
so it
nice.
can go up on our flagpole. supposed to be super long lasting nylon flag. So there it is.
So he's gonna be selling those in the store?
Yes, everything he's gonna sell in that store is made in the United States of America.
Good.
Everything he's got there. So, and there's, you may or may not have seen it, but that's what the front of the building looks like.
Yeah.
Pass it if anybody wants to look at that.
You're advertising. Who's this? Who's opening this?
Sean Gilbert is his name.
Gilbert?
Yep.
Is it
Sean
relation?
Gilbert.
It is?
My nephew.
Mentioned the donation thing too.
Oh, yeah, he's got, in the store, they're gonna do an adoptive veteran kind of thing. And they're gonna have in the store, this container is gonna be bolted to the floor where people can donate. So they're gonna sponsor a veteran that's in need. He said they tried to work with Wounded Warriors and they found out that there's so much bureaucracy within Wounded Warriors. They've decided that they're basically gonna try and adopt one veteran at least. So they're gonna get he's already been contacted with the American Legion, the VFW.
Jeff?
I don't know if he's been contacted with Jeff or not, but I'm sure that I can get in contact with him if he hasn't been in contact with Jeff, so. Anyway, it's gonna be, people are gonna donate, it's gonna be right there when you walk in the door, and they're gonna use that money specifically to help a veteran in need.
For just Ogemaw County?
Yes, ma'am,
Oh, nice. Anything else?
that would be it.
Commissioner Scott?
Yep, I attended Ogemaw Township since the last report. Ogemaw Township, they heard a request for a storage unit facility in the township. I attended Horton Township. Their meeting got postponed 2 weeks later, so I went to that. They talked about township official salaries and the extra election that's coming up. It seemed to be a big topic there. The airport, the city has been helping out with plowing there. And we also talked about the medical insurance for the manager. Planning. We had a planning meeting last night. Our members were sworn in this year. Our county clerk was present and swore everybody in and swore at everybody.
Forgot about that update.
Yep. And we had a hearing on that storage unit request in Ogemaw Township, and that was passed. There was some text amendments to do with the RV ordinance, the housing. We dropped the minimum size home down to 400 square feet, so basically a tiny home. They still has to be the code. The only difference really is we dropped it from 700 or 720 to 400. And there was some other text amendments that were done. We had quite a few people come in and comment. Basically, they got the wrong story and from whatever source, and they were asking about parts of the ordinance that has been in effect for, we know, 25 years since the last revision, and it was even brought up that it was probably older than that. And they seem to want to just keep arguing this point that we were changing this, and we weren't. What we did change was the amount of time that you can have use a RV during the year. It was 270 days. And that would kind of revolve through the year. We set it from April 1st to November 31st now. So there's a definite period of time. The discussion about Churchill Township was very brief. No decision is made until next month. Two of the township, the clerk and treasurer, I think, or at least Lynn and Mrs. Miller were there. And so they told us what happened in their meeting and things like that. And they had some other points that they wanted to talk about. We're just we're all anxious for next month. And that's a very sarcastic thing to say, but,
I'm sorry, I just,
and the other,
nope, go ahead. I'll wait you.
Well, the other thing I added this to the discussion, was bringing in the townships and having a discussion straight with the townships about what involvement the townships want to do with planning. I found a copy of the planning to do with Otsego County. They open it up to the townships to participate or not participate. Scott Bell is on our planning commission. He has done a lot of work in Otsego County. There's a couple of townships up there that have clearly said they don't want to hear about requests. They don't want anything. They just want the county board to take care of it. So that's kind of what we're at. Our master plan is going to have to be revised pretty soon. So we want the townships to give us the input on where do they want different zoning to happen. We can change that within the master plan. It's very difficult. We tried to explain, we're doing all the planning and zoning for the county except for West Branch Township, Edwards Township, and the city of West Branch. So people who live in a township like Foster that has one farm and a lot of resort area gets the same rules as Logan Township that has mostly all farm and very little resort, has some, but not much. That's what we have to balance everything out over the whole county. So, it's difficult. We had a township representative from Clacking Township there that wanted us to make some changes. I told him, I said, the best thing, if you want to really make some rule changes, do your own zoning. Well, we're bringing it up in the next meeting, he said. And I said, go ahead and get with another township and put them together and do it. It works good in West Branch Township and Edwards. They're pleased that they're doing their own planning and zoning. But
What was the assumption as far as the campers? Because I was the same thing as far as the time frame. What was the assumption the individuals were making?
it says in there that you can set in your camp in your RV 14 days out of 30. And at the end of 30, you need to move it. Now that's been on the books for years and years. And they came and said, why are you putting this in now? We're not putting it in now. It's there. It's been there. You've been in your camper. Have somebody complained about you? Well, no. What are you complaining about now? We didn't change that.
So that was the only thing was a time frame from April 1 to 11/30.
That's the only thing we changed in that part of the text.
Okay.
We did say that we're going to take a look at that 14-day thing at a later meeting.
Okay.
But there was quite a bit of discussion about township involvement because people have the assumption just because they go to the township, and whatever the township says goes. Well, that's not the way it is because they don't do their own planning and zoning. So, but if we want township involvement, if that's what they really feel it ought to be, because right now they're giving authority with no responsibility. They want us to assume the responsibility. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way. That's it. That's all I got.
Okay, mine will be quick. Since our previous encounter, the EDC was a virtual meeting because that was Monday night when that storm was hitting. They talked about the revolving loan fund. Also, the new director is Penny. She introduced herself. Penny Pay. I'm gonna say it wrong. Paya. Have you?
I don't know how to say it.
They plan on coming and introducing. She plans on coming with Phil, the director, the president of the chairperson of the board, and introducing themselves. Talked about the revolving loan fund a bit. They're also going to put together a meeting. MSU is going to, for the townships, I believe they're planning on reaching out to you, Tim, as far as a time to discuss the ARPA funds. They've got 2 individuals from MSU that is willing to do this to help townships with allocating those funds. Also, the village, Prescott, I met with them as well. They talked about the ARPA funds a touch, talked about their finances, some snow plowing, having some issues with some equipment over there. And then their storage plant over there, their sewage plant is also giving them some funding issues. So that was it for me. Did I miss anybody?
Madam Chair, I have an alibi.
For what?
Alibi.
An alibi.
An alibi.
Go ahead.
I'm in Mulligan, whatever. And I'm sure everybody got the email from Becky from Core in regards, no?
No.
Oh, I didn't get it.
You didn't get anything? I got one from her on the county email. Anyway,
No, I didn't get it.
I got back in contact with her. Mr. Petrie, who was the superintendent of Core Intermediate School District, would like to update the board as to what Core is doing. Our meeting on April 27th or 28th, excuse me, April 28th. We could include Mr. Petrie, the superintendent of Core ISD,
On the agenda.
on the agenda.
Got that?
Got it.
Anything else? Okay. Item 14, general public comment. This is for any subject matter. Same rules apply. State your name for the record. Speak only to the chairperson. Stand behind the podium when speaking. Limit comments to 3 minutes or fewer and follow the direction of the chairperson when speaking. Public comment. Mr. Petrie, come on up.
I'll be quick. I'll take probably 2.5 minutes because probably some of you have already heard my spiel from the past those around.
This guy was
Sean
just talking
Petrie.
about
This is the man.
Absolutely. I'm not gonna wear the other hat right now. I may have those passed. I know some of you have seen it. Sean Petrie, candidate for the 99th House of Representatives as a Republican. Reside here in Ogemaw County. So I'm excited for this new adventure. And my family and I reside just out on M55 and Morrison Road. Part of the reason, as said before, I am the current ISD superintendent. I thank Becky. She sent those emails around, coming back around to give us share what we're doing as Core. You remember about pre-COVID, I came around and presented that, so we'll be doing that again. Thank you for allowing that. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to run for the House of Representatives. At this point, working with Core, my background has been education for 26 years. I taught at Ogemaw Heights for 15 years as a machine tool and welding instructor, football coach. Left the county for 7.5, almost 8 years to go to Tuscola ISD as a career tech ed director to oversee the tech center, grow more programs, increase the budget, work with initiatives at the state. Had an opportunity to return back to West Branch as I was hired at Core ISD as a superintendent. My biggest point of why am I running? I think you all feel the same frustrations I had felt as a superintendent. One, northern and rural Michigan kind of gets ignored quickly on a lot of funding initiatives. Also in dealing with a lot of what comes out of the legislative background and looking at different initiatives that they do. When we went through the COVID process for mask, no mask, there was a lot of, I'll just have to say at points, lack of direction that needs to really have an initiative. Somebody can take a point and look at how it affected our kids, how it affected our businesses, how it affected our community, and really try to take that point to Lansing. So with that, April or August 2nd, I'll be on the ballot as a candidate. Looking forward to an opportunity to represent this county and the other 6 counties, which probably the commissioners already know is 3 full counties, Iosco, Aranac, and Ogemaw, the partial counties, most of Gladwin, a partial part of Clare, and the northern tip of Bay. Some of my background, I grew up in that northern tip of Bay, which is Pinconning area. That's where my father was a teacher and I grew up. We have a family farm that's no longer, we have the land, but it was a beef farm in Aranac County along the Augrey River as well. And we call West Branch, Michigan home as a family. My wife, myself, and our 6 children of all of different ages. So looking forward to this opportunity. I have a lot of experience with legislators and working with them. I have a lot of educational background. I have a lot of working with businesses. And I tend to try to drive things home and work hard for them. So I just wanted to take a moment to let everybody know, most of you know, my hat's in the ring for this position. If I do not win the election, then I will be staying at Core as a superintendent. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Petrie.
Questions?
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Any other public comment in the room? No? Any public comment on the phone? Any public comment on the phone? Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Support will meeting adjourned at 6:49.